And team chows. I mean, team chows are always important. You want to win these fights. You want to have every single one of their players on the death screen because that's 10 seconds towards your point. So I think those are the 3 keys to victory for either one of these teams if they want to walk out with the map 1 victory.
I absolutely agree, and we are finally going to get this map started, and none other than Soap getting the first kill. Actually, most of the Bulls are getting a first kill as the Knights go 3 dead. Nazaex is going to be the first spawner, and he is all the way back here in green. So right away, the South Florida Bulls, sorry, are already establishing that aggression you were talking about earlier, establishing themselves on this first hill.
Yeah, and I mean, you could just look at it now, like all 3 of them are sort of in the same position, and they're all trying to flip these spawns because you want to be in that closer side, especially with these hop-ups and just so many cruddy spots on this side of the map. So USF is off to a really hot start here, already almost done with the first point. And I mean, once you get the first point, that's just a confidence booster for the rest of the map. And I mean, you can just look at these, them challenging right now, just being super, super annoying. Like Soap sitting in a corner, consider no one is sitting at the top behind everybody. Like this, you've got to be cruddy on this map.
Yeah, and just a sliver away from claiming that first hill, and the South Florida Bulls will go up 1-0 in this King of the Hill matchup against the Central Florida Knights. And honestly, a great opening start from the South Florida Bulls as well. There it is. The hill does get taken and secured, but as soon as they do, the Florida Bulls go all 4 dead, which means the Knights are going to get a head start on the second hill.
Exactly. They have spawns. They had everyone dead. You know, this is going to be a strong start.
Jesus,
for UCF.
3 perfects in a row. Holy crap.
I mean, I don't know what's in the water down in Florida, but that's the 4th perfect in a row. I mean, they are shooting straight today. I mean, make that 5.
Make it 5. Who's gonna break the streak? Are we gonna see another set of perfects? Hold on, this is actually the most important part of the game now. Forget the hill. We need to see if they can get another perfect 5. Oh, Chris on God,
Chris,
he breaks it just as we get 2 more. Man, if Quigley podcasts are watching this, we need to have a graphic for most perfect kills in a row in a match, because I think that'd be up there for sure. That was crazy.
I was hoping to get the 7th one because I thought that was impressive. I got to know what kind of octagon they're running to warm up. But,
so many perfect kills. Look at that.
And I mean, Bales is carrying the UCF Knights at the moment. I mean, it's not a great thing to say, but 8-3 to start off the map is absolutely huge for the side of them, especially as they get closer to evening out the score here at 1-1.
Yeah, the Knights already going to secure the hill, confirming it with the use of that shroud as well. Consider no one trying to stay alive inside of yellow will get his shields back. Very, very important that he does so. And Chris on God, can he win this 2v1? No, he can't. As consider no one going to finish that kill. And Monty's going to be next on the docket as well. 2 go down for the Central Florida Knights as the South Florida Bulls are looking to take aggressive positions on the map. But they have to worry about Bales, who's absolutely being a linchpin for the UCF Knights, trying to keep them inside of this game, but he finally gets taken down.
Yeah, and I mean, as you saw with that team fight right there, UCF is just playing their lives, you know, challenging stuff together, and they got the setups here and the spawns. So you got to hope that UCF is able to make the break here, but with the staggered pushes, it's going to be really hard because that's 2 dead on the side of UCF.
Now we are watching as 3 go down for South Florida as well. Neck and neck between these 2 teams, but so much hill time was acquired by the South Florida Bulls already. And now the Central Florida Knights are just trying to play catch up at the moment. Nazaex in a great position overwatching this bottom mid entry point, because that is a very sneaky spot to immediately get sights on hill. Devin Stray trying to use the grapple hook to finish this kill off, and he will do so, opening up for the South Florida Bulldogs.
Yeah, and it's just in the big team fight coming right now, and, you know, UCF gets all 4 dead. Bales is the only one that spawns up on the right side. So it's looking like it's going to lean, this point is going to go to UCF just because, or USF, just because UCF just spawned up. But Bales is getting a pick here. Let's see if the trade comes through, and it looks like it might, and it does. No extra damage there from Bales. And it looks like UCF will take the 2-1 lead here. And if you're on the side of UCF, you're going to need a little bit more of teamwork there because you're staggered a lot and you're just getting a lot of these unnecessary deaths like we see from Monty here. And you're just letting Soap kind of run free, get a 2-piece. Doesn't get the stick on the 3rd. Kind of surprising if you know Soap in his lore. But if you're on the side of UCF, you need to take a minute and you need to come together and figure out what you're going to do here, because you're kind of letting UCF get all the picks with no trades.
Yeah, and the Knights are definitely putting it to their advantage, getting some hill time, but two very quickly go down for the Knights, and the Bulls are looking to not necessarily get on the hill just yet, looking to play the time angle just a little bit. I believe they will do so now, as we are going to head into the 3-minute mark of this game and demonstrate already putting some very aggressive moves, trying to get into a very aggressive position in order to stop the flank from the Knights. And as we see Monty in a fight in middle against Soap, he gets taken down. Soap is tied for the kill lead. There are actually 3 players, one on the Knights, one on the South Florida Bulls squad, with 11 kills apiece.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not too sure if I'm on the side of UCF. If Bales can bail you out of this situation with your team sort of lacking in the Slays department this much. I mean, and you could, but it's going to be very difficult to, especially when you're on a game mode that requires you to get those kills so the team can get the time on the hill. And that was, whoa, we're TPing on the map? That was good old Halo.
A little bit of a lag spike there, I believe. Unfortunate, as they sometimes do tend to happen. If we have to reset the server before we get the next game started, I'm sure we will. However, more importantly, the Knights are holding on to this hill. Young Lousy is trying to get this flank off, but unfortunately, Nazaeus wasn't really keen to it. Chris on God going to use a grapple hook to get himself the shock rifle. But sneakily, the Bulls have taken the hill, bringing their lead 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really strong showing from USF at the moment. They have a lot of coordinated pushes. They're getting the rotations. They're flipping spawns when they need to. And when it comes down to a mixy hill like this, I gotta favor USF with how they're playing at the moment. But UCF does have the power up in the shock at the moment. That would be great if you can get it working. Little sparring match. We have a little sparring match in the middle of the map, but UCF is able to make the break here, and I'm just going to keep stuttering the fact of USF and UCF. Like, this is kind of annoying.
It's the Bulls and Knights. Bulls and Knights. We don't need to make it too complicated. Just Bulls and Knights.
I'm going to blame Florida on that one. You got to have a little bit of originality there.
Yes, but definitely 2 schools with a lot of rivalry in their history, so very much looking forward to seeing how this plays out, as we do have the Knights who are likely going to secure this bottom hill. Chris on God electing to use the bandit to finish off this kill on Young Lousy. Will get help from the Zaix on the flank, so this will be a hill taken by the UCF Knights as the Florida Bulls continue to play the long game of preventing the Knights from equalizing this game. Demonstrate finding himself sandwiched between 2 members of Knights, pushing into this middle hill already, and here we go once again, full circle.
Yeah, at least it's becoming a little bit more competitive during the second rotation, and Nazaeus picking up a triple kill with the last shot, a 20 bomb, leading the lobby right now, which is definitely what Bales would need after his hot start, just to get a little bit more presence on the map from the Knights here. And I don't know, USF might win this team fight. They get the pick on the Zags, but it depends on how they're going to collapse on the rest of the team here. Got a couple nades coming out. Looks like it does some good damage, but Bale's sitting in the corner, able to get the pick. Immediately gets traded. Chris on God able to take out Soap there. So looking like some really good hill time.
We need to get back on hill.
We might see the 7th hill here if UCF can get back on it. I'm not too sure why they backed away from it after winning the team fight, but there's just trades on trades going on right now. It's looking like a Pokemon card show at the moment, but
ooh,
2v1 here on the side of UCF. Is Monty gonna win it? Monty does challenge, does get both. Oh my God, that was kind of ballsy out of him, but pays off in the end, getting the shock rifle and getting the hill time there, and still keeping 2 dead on the side of the Bulls.
What a great sequence of events. Started off by Monty with that double stick on hill. And so far, the Bulls have not been able to get a whole lot of hill time. But then again, the Knights have been like really close to securing this hill, just haven't been able to get the last few seconds, and now they finally get it. And we are tied 3-3 in the first game of the series so far. And I cannot wait to see how this final hill plays out. It is a very difficult hill to hold as well. Very wide open, as Bales is going to find out the hard way, as 2 South Florida Bulls put him in a rock in a hard place, but Nazaeus already on the flank.
Yeah, that was a great team chow to break that hill right there, and it's just on the rest of the UCF to kind of help Devin here back here. And it looks like they will not be able to, but will be able to. Playing his life here, gets the kill, immediately gets traded out. Still 2v2 here on the point. It looks like USF is doing some really good damage here. Gets one, another trade going on here. Oh my god. We need a trade counter because no one is going untraded at the moment. UCF definitely picking up the pace here towards the tail end of this map 1.
Oh, man.
I don't know if anyone has seen in the Discord, but these two teams have been chirping at each other a little bit back and forth since the beginning of the year because I think they knew at one point or another they were going to have to play each other. So it's nice to see a little bit of that hated, rivalry.
You can say heated rivalry. We all know that it's that kind of love between these two schools.
I'm not too sure. I kind of sense some hope from Soap. Soap is a Division 1 hater and also Division 1 Halo Paler. So definitely really nice to see some in-state rivalry coming on. I mean, we've had schools like Kaiser and FSA in the past, but these two schools both have campuses, so it's good to see that. No shade to either of those schools.
Absolutely not, but there are quite a few members of Knights in the bottom mid as Bales is going to elect to move off this bottom mid section, and he's going to finally push through jail door, and he's going to take some important real estate. However, Nazaic standing tall on hill, now dropped to no shield, is going to have to play for his life, but a good, perfect 5, and he gets a double kill. Big plays from Bale to try and get his team in the lead in this first game of the series as Demonstrate taking the wide flank over by Blue. Is going to pick up the Shroud, and Chris on God forced to run, but little does he know he's running into the open arms of a couple of members of the South Florida Bulls as they peek out to challenge him. Can the Knights hold strong? Yes, they can. 3 go down, 4 go down, and the Knights are looking to finish off this hill.
Yeah, just based off the time here, I think USF might have one good push here. It might not even be that. It might be a staggered push here because time is just running out for the Bulls here at the moment. And UCF is doing a really good job at staggering them and getting the kills, and they take map 1. They take map 1 after such a slow start on the side of the Knights. So nothing to be discouraged about as we hop into this map 2 Slayer on Solitude, and we're going to hop on with the side of UCF, Chris on God. And UCF coming right back where we left off. Hot 2-piece.
Predictions are live, so if you're in the chat, feel free to use your channel points to vote for which one of these two teams will take map number 2 on Solitude Slayer. And already things are still just as close as they were when we last left these two teams. And I do believe they burned camo earlier, like you had just said. And honestly, right now, that's great for the South Florida Bulls because you cannot let the Knights run free with that camo. And as we see, the Bulls and the Knights continue to go toe-to-toe, 1-for-1. These are still being very close between these two teams.
Exactly. I mean, you could just see the side of USF is just able to get the trades and trades. I mean, it's literally a continuation of map 1 with how these two teams are playing. And these two teams are pushing together and getting the picks, but there's just those little staggered pushes that are kind of throwing this game off balance a little bit. But somehow it works for the side of USF because Soap punches someone, drops, and runs away like he's Batman, just disappears in the map. So it's like very interesting to see how this map is going to progress. And it's just a little bit of aggression on the side of Soap, maybe a little overzealous in the fact that you may not have needed to push that. So big lag spikes coming here because I just saw like 17 laser shots get shot at Devin Straight and he did not die. But
yeah, we're going to see if these players are willing to basically just restart the lobby, or maybe we just have to reconnect to the lobby before we get the third game started, just to make sure that we get rid of as many of these jitters as we can to ensure a nice, clean, pleasant viewing experience for everybody at home watching this game. But we are still neck and neck between these two Florida schools, 11-12. The Knights are still in the lead by 1 as Chris on God gets himself a double kill. And if Young Lousy can stay alive, he needs to because he's the last member alive, but he is already running straight into the open arms of Chris on God, and Monty going to finish that kill. Consider no one trying to make things happen over by Flowers and Soda as Demonstrate going to repeat, but 2 go down immediately for the Bulls, and the Knights are going to continue to put on this pressure grabbing that camo.
And that's just a huge camo grab for the side of the Knights. I mean, camo on this map is one of the most annoying things ever put into the game because of how hard it is to spot camo with the colors and the shades on this map itself, but also because there's so many like cruddy spots that they can sit in. And Chris on God with a big two-piece mid and went straight for the third, but looks like Nazaix might be able to clean it up, and Young Lousy does get the pick to kind of help his team stay in this battle, only down by 4 as we head into the second half of this map.
In the opening start of any Slayer game, it is very, very important to keep things as close as you can to the other team so that when we do get to that 40 kill mark, that 35 kill mark, there's still a chance for your team to be able to take the lead or at least hold on to the lead. And that is what the South Florida Bulls are trying to do, keep things as close as they can. And a few individual members of the South Florida Bulls are stepping up to that plate, but the Knights are continuing to put up that pressure as well. They love holding out in this loop and yard section of the map, knowing that this is a very powerful part of the map and also a very difficult one to break.
Yeah, and as we can tell, like on the side of UCF is that they're playing really well together, and if they see someone, they usually dedicate at least 2 to spot it out and get rid of that threat to them. And as you can see right here, it's just the fight from UCF. There's 3 people looking at Young Lousy in blue. So UCF is kind of picking up the pace when it comes to playing together, and USF is kind of lacking in the team challenge department, kind of staggering, letting them get the picks and not able to get any trades here. And it does does get the pick, but automatically gets traded out here. And if you're on the side of USF, you kind of want to slow down here, get the pick, and then sort of rotate the slaves through, kind of like UCF is doing to you right now. And it looks like Bales is going to get a big 2-piece here. Bates the third one, Nazaix there for the cleanup. And I mean, this is starting to get a little bit ugly with UCF being up by 12 here.
Yeah, the Knights have been able to continuously put pressure on the South Florida Bulls to try and answer their aggressive plays as they move like a unit across the map. After these opening kills started off by Bales, who gets himself a double kill cleanly off screen, is going to once again open things up. And here you go again. The staggered spawns are coming in for the Bulls as the Knights look to continue to extend their lead, now 38 to 24, firmly in the lead, approaching that 40 kill mark.
Yeah, and it's just like we see right now, the side of UCF, they're just fighting together. They're just getting the nades, and everything seems to kind of be falling for them with another big team fight coming here in the side of yard. And UCF is really cleaning up USF, kind of not really allowing them to get their footing on this map, just constantly rotating them, keeping them in the death screen. And you could just tell by the scoreboard that that is the case with everyone on the side of USF negative. So it's not really a great continuation of map 1 for the side of USF, but it's definitely a good bounce back for UCF, who did lack in that slave department map 1.
Just barely, though. We had 2 members of the UCF Knights go over 20 kills in that previous game. So definitely a sleeping giant that appears to have woken up. But 47 to 28 as we look to end the final moments of this game number 2. Once again, the South Florida Bulldogs are forced to hide out here in yard. And so trying to get aggressive, trying to flank a couple of members of the Knights, does find Monty, takes him down very, very quickly, but has to be very, very careful as there are multiple members of the Knights who are going to be wise to his plays, as Bales is going to immediately challenge that. He dies for it, but it doesn't matter. One more kill is all that's left. Demonstrate getting a pancake on Nazaix off screen, but Monty, looking to slowly push into yard here, is going to find 3 members, and he is forced to flee and run away. However, so many health bars are getting low, so much damage being dealt to the South Florida Bulldogs, and Demonstrate going to be the last to fall, and it's going to be 50 to 33 to Knights take the second game in this best of 5 series. I would love to see at least 4 games tonight. If we only see 4, that's okay. If we happen to see 5, I think that would fulfill the hype that we all kind of felt about this series between these 2 rival schools within the same state. So we are finally loaded in, and we're going to get things started with Chris on God as we look to see if the Knights can continue to hold their lead, or if the South Florida Bulls are going to take their first game of the series, and off to a okay start already as they manage to secure B and looking to flip over C as well. 2 go down right away for the UCF Knights. Great opening start by the South Florida Bulls.
Yeah, really good opening start. Soap able to start the map off 4-0. Old man Soap is trying to make a strong showing here for the side of USF, but unfortunately does get the flip there on the spawn, so UCF will get C here. But if you're on the side of USF, you have power positions. You have A and B, the most kind of played positioning in the game. So you want to keep that and consider no one with a big two-piece. And USF is showing some life here in this map number 3 if Devin can pick up this two-piece here, which he does with the help of Soap from that shock rifle across the map. Huge momentum here for the side of USF, but they just have to keep it here because this is a game mode that can flip on its head almost instantly.
Absolutely, and I love this defensive hold that the Bulls have currently taken. And honestly, it's a very powerful one. A and B, very, very good hills to have. C, a very difficult hill to push out from. So much open space, so much territory to cross as Nazaex cannot get the double kill. And it will be Young Lousy who's going to stay alive. And consider no one taking on Bales as well as Chris on God looks to try to make a push and bottom elevator, but Young Lousy, he wins that. And they're going to continue this hold. 69 seconds and counting to 0. The Knights have yet to get a single second of hill time.
Yeah, and that's just a really good hold from the side of USF here. I mean, it's kind of a textbook at the end of the day. You have someone watching the cross into A, you have someone watching the cross into B, and you kind of have a partner there to help you with any of the pushes, and it's really working out on the side of USF. And for the side of UCF, you kind of just have to get a pick here, sort of explode on a certain site. But you have to pick there. You kind of want to explode and grab this B site because they're going to keep spawning A. And it looks like
you
we
were
might
talking
have
about it. You were talking about it, and it materialized right before your very eyes, Karrito. And honestly, it could not have come at a better opportunity as well. None other than the team captain Bales is going to start off by getting the opening pick and securing this first hill. And now, as we take a look at the bottom of the screen, we do see the hill flip, but also we see very crucially B being flipped as well. And the Knights are trying to make a push to stop this hill on B, but they will cap it before Devastrate goes down. Nazay is going to be staying alive as much as he can, but a nice, well-placed grenade by Soap going to take him down instead, but Bale's quick on the recapture as well. And we do have the Knights who are going to continue to hold A and B. And now the South Florida Bulls are in the same position that the Knights were just a few minutes ago.
I'm sorry, USF. I have 100% just spoke that in existence for you. But the good news is you can do it too. All right, so you just have to get the pick. You just have to explode on a certain site and kind of just flip the rotations here, because you are currently in the trap you just had UCF in. But on a good news, it looks like they are a little bit more separated than you were. So if you get the pick, you have a little bit more space to work with. Obviously, they do not know that at the moment, but looking like some good info here from the side of USF. Trying to push up here. Gets the pick. All right, you have the pick. Now you got to go. Now you just got to dedicate. You got 2 picks. Now you got to dedicate to the site and just push it through. And hopefully we can see them take this B site here soon with UCF still spawning in A. Actually, they're going to flip. Yep.
A good flip, and I do think we just got told by our observer that Camo was also burned, but Chris on God with a nice flank as well. Gonna get himself a double kill and keep this hill and A alive. Big plays from Chris on God, and Monty getting a perfect 5 on another member of the South Florida Bulls does mean that they're going to go momentarily 3 dead as the respawners are going to come in. The hill does get contested. Can Soap win this fight? No, he can't. Chris on God takes him down. Killing spree for Chris.
And, you know, just kind of pointed out, Chris on God is on a killing spree, so that means he started the game out 0-5, and to bounce back with a killing spree is absolutely huge for the side of UCF, just to kind of prevent him from head casing. He's going to pick up the shot here. He's obviously starting to feel himself, does get picked off there, but USF does have this pick to explode on B, but it's still a 3v3 here. Now it's a 2v3. Now USF is on the point, and hopefully they can get this time here and get back into that setup that they had with UCF still on B. But we still have someone lurking here on A in the top balcony, and that's Nazaex, able to get the pick on Consider, but Soap there to clean it up. I'm not too sure if he's going to read this person bottom A, but this is a good time here for USF. As Camo comes up, Monty does have it. Devin is not going to be able to see him where he went, and it looks like he's going to get the pick with Camo, but instantly traded. Huge for the side of USF with no more Camo on the map here. And Young Lousy trying to fight 2 members of UCF here does not work out. Almost gets a trade, but a lot of good damage on the side of USF to kind of slow down UCF.
Almost a trade, almost a double if Young Lousy just got one good shot in. He had 2 members. Oh, but that grenade almost hit, considered no one. But Chris on God winning that huge pivot over in back Hydro will ensure that they keep C. And for now, the South Florida Bulls are continue to have this weird and awkward hold inside of gold. And not exactly the easiest hill to take, but they do manage to get not 1, but 2 members onto A. They are going to sacrifice the B hill for it, however, as we do see Soap trying to take down the Zayax over in Hydro, will do so as well. The rest of his team is going to spawn with him, but that is a triple cap counting down for the UCF Knights as Soap continues to get pressure, continues to find himself in situations where he's not going to get his shields back. Will do so now, and perhaps maybe the Bulls can make a push, but honestly, a great defensive hold by the Knights, and Soap sacrificing so many of his shields to get it here will fall and go down, but so far, every single one of these trades is in the favor of the Knights.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to sort of, steamroll for the side of UCF with this momentum and them just being able to stagger UCF here, or USF here. And I feel like that the hold from UCF is extremely strong here to the point where it's getting really close that you're running out of time if you're USF. So you really have to make a move here and now to sort of break this hold, but you can't if you go too dead. So it's looking like another extended hold here for the side of UCF. So time is running out.
Though.
Oh, does get the pick, does get the trade, which is huge for the side of USF because you do have the man advantage. But
Lousy, no.
You gotta wait.
Lousy.
Gotta wait for a teammate.
Yeah, Lousy just getting too aggressive, and Nazeus says thank you very much for the free damage. Demonstrate as well. Unfortunately, a little bit too late to that piv, but it's not really his fault. Like, great job by Soap to get aggressive and get these positions. However, the rest of his team are just falling on other sides of the map, and honestly, the Knights have continued to be as very, very dominant. Another triple cap, and Monty gets himself another camo, preventing the South Florida Bulldogs from getting it. But they have to break into something because it is 2:43, just 2 more seconds, and the Knights are going to win the series.
Right,
has to stay alive.
You can't hop off the hill. You can't hop off the hill.
2 more seconds. He has to get back on hill.
You have to get back on the hill.
1 more second. No.
Oh my god.
Oh no. He got off of the hill. Oh.
I'm not too sure.
That's how we end?
You know what? That's one of those situations where I wish we had elicited in, because that's just one of those moments where you cannot get off the hill here. You have to be aware of the timing.